Star Wars: The Phantom Menace, the first installment of the prequel trilogy hitting cinemas in 1999. Everyone was excited for it.
I've been waiting 15 years since Return of the Jedi came out to see the prequel.
There's no way it's going to be a disappointment.
Are there any of you that think this is going to be a lousy movie?
However, it had many mixed reviews at the time, with some audiences having a big issue with one CGI'd character. It currently sits on a 52% Rotten Tomatoes score, and previously I ranked it in a D tier when I ranked every Star Wars film. But today I'm going to ask and answer the question, is it really that bad? Every time I feel something bad or good happens in the film, I'll ding in the top right. And at the end of the video, we will see what score comes out on top. That's enough talking, let's get into it. Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace. Is it really as bad as everyone makes it out to be? I'm a massive Star Wars fan, if you don't believe me. We're going to make sure I'm biased in this video, even though I am a Star Wars fan. We're going to weigh up the good points as well as the bad points and see which one comes out on top. Let's get into it and find out if Star Wars Episode 1: The Phantom Menace is really that bad. Bash. Of course I'll get copyrighted if I play any of the Star Wars music, which is a massive point in the film. But this intro, obviously coined in the first film that came out, Star Wars: A New Hope, elite. This is a good point, no doubt in my mind. Yes, that might be a bias, but no, this is iconic. Of course, I have seen this film many times, so I will recognize certain moments, but I'm going to have an unbiased opinion as I rank this film for good and bad points. Of course, these are the prequel films, and bosh, we're introduced to elite characters such as Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. Unreal.
Encountered a Jedi Knight before, sir?
Well, no, but I don't. Seal off the bridge.
What was that? I feel like some of the dialogue in this film in particular is a bit off. You got to give a plus point for just lightsaber action. You just have to. It's elite. I would say it's the most iconic weapon in any film ever. How about that?
Bro, this is impossible.
I'm gonna give it another bad point. It's just that the acting for those ones, it feels like so like forced.
Move quickly to disrupt all
One thing I
communication
actually like
out
about
there.
these characters is like, I'm not a big fan of when they turn these alien characters into CGI. I like when they've got like a prosthetic in front of you. As much as it might look a little bit naff in places, I do prefer it. So I think I'll give it a good point. As an actual like thing within the Star Wars films, the actual like prosthetic of the aliens, and not all of them, some of them are CGI and that's not always the best, but when they do it right, I like them. It just builds the world and it's really cool. And there he is, everybody. I won't talk about the CGI in places because it doesn't look a little bit scruffy like that. It doesn't look the best. It did come out in 1999, but what I will say, we're introduced now to Jar Jar Binks. I'll hold my dinging, good or bad, in a few seconds' time. Again, another massive plus point. I do love the worlds within this film, especially the prequels as a whole. I do like this world. Like, I think it's the first proper world that you see underwater in the Star Wars universe. Tell me if I'm wrong. Like, the design is just so beautiful and like just unique. The concept is really cool. They go through this airlock here. Like, I like it. I'd say it's a plus point again for the film.
A droid army is about to attack the Naboo. We must warn them.
I do feel like, yes, as Qui-Gon Jinn just said there, a droid army is about to attack Naboo, and there's a benefit for the fact that the very start of the film's kind of gone straight into the action or straight into like the plot. I feel like we've jumped in a bit too quick, and it's a bit like kind of, you know, heavy with the politics and heavy with that. We might not be able to fully comprehend it. Whereas in the previous films, in the originals, you know, you get a bit more of a beginning in A New Hope to get to know the characters. Like, we don't know Obi-Wan or Qui-Gon in this moment. Do you know what I mean? It feels like quite quick into the act, like the heavy context, the heavy dialogue that we're not really been warmed up for. I will do a bad point actually, because I do realise that I did say I like when they have real life prosthetics as the aliens, and instantly we get introduced to Jar Jar Binks and these characters, so they're all CGI. I do think it is. I don't necessarily like it as much.
Shield generator's been hit.
It's so annoying because the acting is bad there. The shield generator's been hit. Like, I don't understand what they had to do better. Like, I'm not an actor, but it just feels naff.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
See, like that, dude, I just don't get it. It feels like the script low-key was made by AI. Like ChatGPT made this script, even though it was 20, however many years before ChatGPT came a thing. So when I just said there, obviously the dialogue in the film feels like ChatGPT in some places, like very dry. There's no like feeling or emotion with any of it. The reason Jar Jar Binks is kind of needed in this film is just to add a little bit of difference within it, because other than that, it feels very bland at the moment. He's the only thing that like gives you something different, because it is just very like, there's a trade deal happening. Oh, they got through the blockade. And that's why I think this film, so far, is more negative dings.
The son doing murder to Mr. Skin.
Wait!
See, like, that's quite funny. Like, it's so, not funny, but I don't know. I'm going to give a good point. I do like Jar Jar. I think he is needed. He's definitely needed in this film. People that wanted him out. I imagine this film without Jar Jar Binks. Oh, snooze fest so far. Of course, now we're in Tatooine. I will give it another ding, because as I said, the different worlds, I think there's no other franchise, there's no other trilogy or series of films that have anything close to Star Wars, in my opinion, in world building. A lot of people call me out on that opinion, but I hold true to it.
We must bow to their wishes.
So yeah, the death toll is catastrophic. We haven't seen anything. So this idea of this massive wars happened in Naboo, or invasion, and there's a loss of life in Naboo. We haven't seen any of that. So like the stakes don't feel like there's no stakes to this film so far. Like, I don't feel any like, oh, they've done that. Oh, that's great. There's no like gasp moment. Which...
Excuse me.
See, that's the negative of Jar Jar. You can get too much. I feel like it's a good idea to have him in the film because it creates that difference in the vibe. But then there's scenarios where they realize, okay, this is probably a bit bland for too long. Let's do a Jar Jar little bit. Let's do a Jar Jar bit like this. Not needed. Like, it's not funny. And it kind of disrupts like maybe important dialogue.
That's why he appears to have such quick reflexes. It's a Jedi.
I feel like they knew what they needed to do with Anakin. If you know the trilogy, you know where it goes. But this was really like out of nowhere suddenly. Like if you watch this film for the first time, didn't know anything about Star Wars, you suddenly just get told, yeah, this boy's got special powers. Like what the hell? Like there's no sign of that. There's no introduction to that. It's just straight away they just say it in the dialogue. See that? I mean, maybe if I was a kid, was I a kid? I don't even remember. Maybe if I was younger, I'd like that. But as a grown man watching a Star Wars film, I don't find that funny, and it goes on for a little bit too long. Look, we've got a 15-second sequence of just Jar Jar being thick. Like it's like like he tried to use him as a comedic outlet, and it doesn't work. 7 times out of 10.
Stay still, Nelly. Let me clean this cut.
Where did he get the cut from? What? And why is he doing it, not his mum? This is just a strange man. I'm just a strange Jedi man that's come and I'll clean your cut. Like, why are you showing so much trust into this stranger? I do like the pod racing scene, but I don't know if I like it more because it reminds me of playing the Lego Star Wars game back on the PlayStation 2. Little fun fact about me, I think fart jokes, burp jokes are incredibly unfunny. And again, that wasn't needed. Jar Jar's turning negative for me. I'm seeing the bad side to Jar Jar. Yeah, no, I said I enjoyed this scene. I enjoyed the pod racing scene. It's like 20 minutes of the film. And I know it's like one of the biggest moments of the film, but it does feel a little bit, it could have been a good 5 minutes quicker.
I lost everything.
Whenever you gamble, my friend, eventually you lose.
Damn, Qui-Gon Jinn and Star Wars giving some betting help advice to people. Whenever you gamble, you will eventually lose. That is a fact, guys. Bet responsibly.
I want to do it.
I don't even think the actress for Shmi is anything great, like the mum. But I generally have more emotion. I understand the emotion, and I like that element is in the film.
What about Mom?
See, like, there you go. Yeah, it's definitely a good point in the film, this. Because, as I said previously, there is literally no emotion or anything in this film so far. However, their bond and their, like, does make sense. Like, it's actually done well, and you feel it. You do understand it. Whereas in other parts of the film, the dialogue doesn't really make you feel it and things like that. Whereas this, yeah, you feel it.
Don't look back.
Low-key, on the rewatch, Shmi Anakin might be the GOAT of the film. She's basically just, like, not sacrificed because she didn't really have any say in it, but she's happy to stay behind and allow her son to go and be free. Again, a new world. As I said, I love Coruscant. There's a new world. I just feel like the planets are so different and beautiful. Oh, I just love the planets in Star Wars and the different worlds.
I will take back what's ours.
I know that, again, she's directed to speak like that, but I do find Queen Amidala is very jarring, the voice. Like, I will take back what's ours. Like, there's no emotion in anything, but...
Jar Jar Binks.
Jar Jar Binks.
Isa, Your Highness?
It's like dead.
Yes.
Obviously, the world building is fantastic, but also, like, the weaponry and stuff in the film. Like, that shield, what we're eventually going to see, like, the actual, like, big ships that they're coming in on and things like that, battleships. Like, I do like the aesthetic of everything within Star Wars. I think they do it perfectly. But yeah, this shield, the shield design, like that, made by those, like, what, dinosaur looking things generating the shield. I love it, all of it. It's all perfect. More lightsaber action. That little twirl was so pointless, Obi-Wan. No need for that little... They literally said, all right, Ewan McGregor, if you could do something a bit different with this one, don't worry, I've got you. Whee! It just spins around.
I thought the battle was going to take place far from here. This is too close.
That's like the worst line ever. I thought the battle was going to go far from here. This is too close. Like, it's just like, what? Just be like, damn, they've I don't know, man. It's just bad. Here we're about to enter one of my least favourite scenes within the whole film. This scene just makes me so annoyed. He said hide somewhere, so he decides to hide in a ship. Alright, music once again, everybody, because this in Act 3 when the action picks up, the music just, you automatically brought into the action and the intenseness of it through the music, of course.
Ouch time.
Ouch time. What an awful line. You're literally about to enter war. Ouch time. Like, I'm trying to make a joke. I don't know. Brace yourselves, everybody. The best moment of the film. This film, it is literally made by this scene. I promise you, this makes it from like her bottom tier to... And then the music is... Whoa. I'll try and make sure I play a little bit that I can, but obviously it is copyright. It's just unreal.
Oops, wrong one. Maybe
It's just so like, oh, whoopsie, I'm pressing all these wrong buttons, but everything seems to be working in my favour. Fantastic. Like, they don't have any problem with the fact that this kid's flying away. The music and the act, this is where the action picks up unbelievable. So, like, we had the poor stuff of Obi-Wan doing a little twirl and then fighting. This is lightsaber fighting, lightsaber duels, lightsaber battles at its best. I do find that, like, it's a shame because obviously Star Wars is the sci-fi, it's got action elements, it's got emotion elements and stuff like that. I do find it a shame in this film that the only things I do really love, other than the emotion between Shmi and Anakin, is the action sequences. Like, there is so much in this film that could have done better. Like, the story is good. The story is good there, but because of the dialogue in certain moments, it doesn't come off, it doesn't land. Whereas if they had, like, a better script, etc., it could have come off so much better, which is a shame. Because the bit I love the most is the action, and it feels like that takes away from Star Wars. Star Wars is so much more than just the action sequences. See, now this is what I don't like. He just happens to go into the part of the ship that can, you know, he can save the day. Seems a bit too, like, I don't know. He just fires like two random bolts that happen to be like the most pivotal shot ever. There's no thought process into it. I don't know if people like that or not. To me, I just don't like when things just happen for happening's sakes, and it just happens to be like pivotal in the plot. I want some sense within it a little bit. Watching that back, I feel like Darth Maul would have been able to deal with that, or like have some... He just stands there and is like, oh, hello, oh. But still, maybe he didn't expect him to have the lightsaber in his hand, actually. See, now without, in my opinion, that beginning of the film with a bit more context to Qui-Gon, because it's a new character, obviously Obi-Wan as well, we would feel more in this moment that we don't because of the lack of that. So, are we going to find out if it's good or bad with the overall scores? Well, there we have it. As I expected, The Phantom Menace, it leans on the bad side more than the good side. It's not one of my favourite Star Wars films, I did say that, and, you know, my objective adjudication has matched my subjective view. I promise you, there's no dodgy business here. Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just objective. I'm just asking the question and answering it. Is The Phantom Menace Star Wars Episode 1 really that bad? Apparently it is. Sorry guys, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. I really do appreciate it. So many more of these videos coming out, not just Star Wars, but more, as well as Floppy's findings as well. Thanks for coming through, and I'll see you when I see you.